In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started on your scholarly article review. You have two of these that are due this semester. The first one, I'm looking at your schedule. The first one is due on Friday, September 24th. So I want to show you how to do that. So the first thing you want to do is review the instructions. I have the detailed instructions here. So basically what you're going to do is locate a scholarly journal article. I have that bolded because scholarly journal articles are different than what you see online in Google. You might find Google Scholar articles, and those are fine, but they might cost you some money. You might have difficulties finding a current article that is something that you're interested in. So I have this bolded because a scholarly journal article is very specific. It doesn't mean a great website like even APA, which is the American Psychological Association. I would argue that's a great website and they are the most credible source. However, those articles that you read on their website are not necessarily scholarly journal articles because they're not published, and that means that they're not peer-reviewed. So I want to be certain that the article that you choose is one of these articles. So I actually guide you on how to access one of these articles. So you could just go to our library website. Here is the link. You can go through the Chafee web page. You could also use the settings, this navigation bar right here, the global navigation. Click on student support, and then that will have the library link as well. So you go to our library, you go to a database called Psych Articles. Okay, it's right here, Psych Articles. Psych Articles is going to have full text journal articles that are approved ahead of time. I know they are. Any article you find from this database is going to be a good one. But I do require that you only use articles from the past 5 years. So once you find an article, you're going to use the last 5 years. Make sure the date is set for 5 years or after. And then 5 years ago or after. And then you're going to, after you get an article that you're interested in, you're going to write a 3 to 4 page APA format article summary, an article summary. And what you're going to do is double space, use Times New Roman, 12-point font. You're going to include a reference page as well. But on your reference page, it's only going to include the reference of that particular article. You don't reference other articles that article referenced. You only reference that one article. So this is not a research paper, so don't think that you're integrating all this information, because you're not. You're just writing one summary on this one article. You're putting it in your own words. You're avoiding plagiarism. You're paraphrasing, in other words. And it's just to introduce you to the type of primary research that we use to understand psychology, to learn about facts in psychology. So that's why I'm having you do this. You are doing 2 of the exact same assignments rather than doing a comprehensive written paper at the end of the semester, like a research paper. I'm having you do 2 of these assignments, and they're just to, introduce you to this primary research again, and also to practice your writing. I'll give you feedback from the first one, and then you'll improve on the second one. Make sure that you have someone proofread. And as long as you answer these questions, like just embed the answers somehow into your organized summary, as long as you touch on these points, then I will give you the full credit, and make sure the grammar is correct. I'll take off some points if there's a lot of errors in writing and grammar, spelling, etc. So those are the things I'm looking for. And I did give you a site. It's, where is that site on here? Okay, here it is. Purdue Owl is this website. You could just Google Purdue Owl. You're going to get that first website. And that actually shows you APA format. Now, I do want to tell you that it can be overwhelming when you look at that site at first, because it goes over all of the mechanics of APA format. It has other formats too, You may have never used APA, and that's okay. Now, please don't get caught up in all the details of APA format. That's not what I'm asking you to do. Write a normal essay the way that you are used to writing it, right? With separate paragraphs, just like what you know. The only difference is that the reference is in APA format, okay? That's the only difference. Also, you're going to cite your source throughout the body of your text a few times. And a citation in APA format is basically the author's last name. If there's more authors, then it's all of the last names, or the first author's last name followed by et al., comma, and then the year of publication in parentheses. So you just have to do that a couple times in your paper just so that I know who you're referring to and you're not plagiarizing. And then you have the one reference. And that's it. And I'm going to give you a couple tips. Number one, know that this is not an easy type of article to read. So you're not alone if you're feeling like it's hard for you. That's the point of this assignment as well, to kind of take this dense information and kind of get familiar with the style of writing in psychology. And then just kind of try your best to summarize what the authors are saying. So you want to read the article and then take notes on the side, maybe like what's the main point here, what's the main point here, and just kind of read through and take your own notes and then summarize it as best you can, address these items, and that's about it. The other tip is that, well, there's two more tips. One is that you could skip the results section. That's going to save you a lot of headaches. So please just skip that whole results section. You're going to get all of this information from the other sections. The discussion will actually be a way to wrap it all up, and it might point out to the results in layman's terms without using numbers, statistics, etc. So don't read the results. And the last tip is that there is a shortcut in the library when you are in this database and you find an article. If you click on the right hand side, there's a link to citation. It says citation. In other formats it might be called a citation, but in APA it's called the reference, and it actually gives you the whole reference in APA format if you check on that one. But I will say you still have to be careful. It's still up to you to review it and make sure that it is accurate in terms of the formatting, because I am looking for that. That's a component of your assignment. So just double check it using the Purdue OWL website. So let me show you how to access one of these articles. So I'm going to go through student support so you guys can get familiar with this. Click on library. Find articles and databases, and then you're going to go down and you're going to see psych articles right here. Click on that, log in. Hopefully it's going to log me in. Hopefully it saved my password. Yep. Okay, so now here I am looking for an article. Where do you start? Like, what article can you use? You can use any article in psychology, and any that you find in this database is approved as long as it's current within the last 5 years, okay? So if you look at the schedule, it lists all the topics we will be covering. So if you really have no idea what type of article you're interested in this field at all, then you could start with that as a guide, like, oh, learning, social, psychological disorders, therapy, child development. Interesting. Okay, I have a child. I want to know about child development. So you could start that broad. You could just, child development, and see what happens, right? See what articles come up. So here are all the different articles, and look what you can do on the left-hand side. If you notice, it says you can refine the results. So I'm going to bring us current. So let's see, it would be about 2016 would be approved by me around that time, because, so you just do this. Well, okay, we'll just do that for now, but you can refine it. You can just type it in, right? So 2016 is going to be approved by me, and it updates, and now you have the current articles in child development. Now, this is going to be super, super broad. Look, over 2,000 results. You don't want this, but if this is the start, you can just kind of like look at the title. Does that look interesting? Do I even know what that title means? You could just kind of look through and then choose something. So I'm going to kind of click on this, and then what is this about? I have no idea. Visual learning, what is this? You might not even know the terms in the title at all, and that's okay. You're not alone, and it's jargon, right? Jargon is just like specific language in an area or discipline, and even in this, it's more in this line of expertise. So don't feel like you need to know all these terms, but this is going to give you more of an idea of what they did and found. So what is this about? Okay, if you really struggle and it's not interesting to you and you have no clue what the heck they're talking about at all, then I would recommend getting a different article. So I might say, I am interested in punishment, right? And then you can do a search like that. And you could even put like, for children. And if you're a parent, you might want to know, is this good? Is this a good thing to punish your kids? Oh, there's only 56 results. That's pretty manageable. Can I understand this positive and harmful effects of disciplinary tactics on dark trait development? Interesting. That looks really interesting. So you might click on that. So you can choose any of these articles, any of them at all. And there's drug addiction, that might be something interesting to you. I teach biopsych, so I'm interested in like neurotransmitters. I might put in oxytocin, dopamine, but you might not be on that level to really know what to specify in the search field. So if you just kind of like review these articles, maybe you like this topic, but you don't love this article, so you can just kind of play around with the key terms that you find here. And just kind of look at the article. So the key terms might help you. And this is all the information you need at the top to reference this article. But when I was telling you that there's a shortcut, this is what I mean. On the right-hand side, you can click on Cite. And although we don't call this a citation, it is the reference. It is still the properly formatted reference in APA 7th edition format. It's right here. So you can literally copy this and paste it right into your document, your Word document for this class. But again, you need to double check that this is accurate. How do you know? Check the Purdue OWL website to double check. I'm going to tell you that this is pretty accurate. Yeah, so you've got the last name, comma, the first initial of the first reported author. It's not in alphabetical order, it's just the first reported author because they get more credit, followed by the next, on and on and on, and then in parentheses the year, period, and then the title of the article right here, and it's just uppercase and lowercase as if you're writing a sentence. And then, so it's not like all uppercase for each, it's not a title. I mean, it is a title, but it's written like a sentence. And then here, this is capital because this is actually the title of the journal itself. So this looks good, but it is actually missing some information, and we'll see if we can find it. But that information that might be missing is the journal volume and the issue number. But if it doesn't have one, it's fine. So it doesn't look like this one has one because it would be listed here, the source, and it's not. It just says the date. But if it has a volume and an issue number, then you would also report that. The other thing I'm going to tell you is that this article that came up, this is HTML format. You can read through the entire article this way, and there's nothing wrong with that. And like I said, skip all this. Look at how overwhelming it is. The results section. Just skip the results altogether. Okay, I promise you. It will come back and you'll know what the results are from the discussion. But look at all that. The tables, figures, you might not be at that level, and you don't need to be. Discussion will wrap it all up and conclude what they found, and you can summarize that information. So I was trying to tell you that this is an HTML format document. You are going to be paraphrasing, so it doesn't really matter. But if you ever use a quote, you have to use the PDF version, and it's right here on the left-hand side. Click it, and that will take you to the PDF full text version. You can email it to yourself, like all of these tools on the right. You can print it, you can email it, you can save it, whatever you want to do with this article, you can. But this is like a copy from the journal. So if you quote anything, you need to include the specific page number. And you won't get that on an HTML document. You will only get it from here. So make sure that you do that, okay? But again, well, not again, maybe this is the first time you're hearing it. You do not want to write a scholarly paper with lots of quotes in it in science. I know that in maybe your English classes you got in that habit, but in this class and in this field and any science field, when you do writing assignments, you have to get in the habit of paraphrasing everything. There are rarely times where you have to take a direct quote, but if you do take a direct quote, you have to cite properly, including the author's last name, the year of publication, and the page number, which you see right here, right? In this case, it's number 3. But I strongly advise you to get out of the habit of quoting. Don't use any quotes. You could write your whole paper without any quotes. It would be much better than if you had included quotes. So try to avoid that. And that is it. If you have any questions, I have my office hours. You can email me. And good luck getting started on this paper. I gave you the formatting instructions, so I guess if we go back to where we were, let's see if I can get back, yeah. It shows you the specific details, like 12-point font, Times New Roman, and 3 to 4 pages double spaced. Otherwise, just write a normal essay. Don't worry about any other mechanics of APA. Don't label different sections. It's just an essay. So don't get caught up in Purdue OWL with details because you don't need those. You only need Purdue OWL to double check your reference, make sure the reference is properly formatted, and then make sure you have the citations, which is just the in text, the author's last name, comma, and the year. And have a few of those on each page, 2 or 3, and you'll be fine. And you will check all those boxes of meeting the requirements, making sure that you're responding to these items in your summary somehow, and make sure it's organized. All right, I'm going to stop this recording. Have a great day.